this really is this simple. Anyone can do this. You can have an 8-year-old kid doing this, and the smells are extraordinary.
Oh my gosh, they're so amazing.
Folks, welcome home. Another edition of Cooking with Lawns. Lindsay's back in the kitchen with us tonight. And we're here in Wisconsin, and the weather is changing. It's October, and I'm thinking about
soup.
I'm thinking about soup.
We love our soup.
So we have a bevy of fresh mushrooms that came in yesterday and today, and we're going to use these guys up. So we've got portobellos. We just have some white buttons. Typically, we've got a variety of things like chanterelles and oysters in the house. It doesn't matter. Use what you got. That's our thing here. And these will be scrumptious. So all we're going to start to do is butter. Of course, we're in Wisconsin, and butter up that pan if you don't mind. And while she is doing that, I will take a knife and cut down some of these mushrooms. And then what we'll do while I'm doing the mushrooms is we'll put some butter in here and get some heavy cream in there and get this guy going and cook that down. So, portobello mushroom. I am not afraid of using the stems as long as you take out that little part that's really full of muck and growing elements, whatever that medium might be. We'll call it, how about dirt? So we're just going to do this like this. We are not going to rinse these ahead of time. We're not going to wipe these either. We are not afraid of whatever that vermiculite area might be. All protein, kind of. Mud we don't want though, just because that's gritty. It's just like we're using leek, and you want to get the sand and gritty kind of element out of there too. But again, we only do that because it's not as pleasant texturally to eat as other things will be. What is he babbling about? Well, imagine, if you will, that you're a hobbit and you really love mushrooms. And who doesn't love mushrooms? The reality is you can have them for every course of the day in different capacities. So we do steaks here a lot, and when you're doing steaks or any type of larger meat, then of course you want to get that on there as well. It's a great counterpoint. They add so much flavor. They have got their own umami going on. Mushrooms, I think, are really undersold in a lot of ways. But a simple mushroom soup, again, flash the pan. We're taking really little amount of time here. Got some flame going right here. Flame on our induction. Get this guy going up to speed as well.
Huge flame.
So in this one, we're just going to get a whole bunch of cream going on. A good heavy cream. That's working right there. A little bit of peppercorn. And these guys, well, I'm going to start to take these down. If you would liberally dash that around, this is a mushroom soya. And I believe that's the Pearl River brand from China. And I have enjoyed this thoroughly for over 25 years of cooking. It adds just so much, again, umami and flavor. And that way you can reduce the amount of just the salt that you're putting in. Don't kid yourself, there is, of course, sodium that's here. But it is incredibly flavorful. So I am not, again, as usual, I'm not overly concerned about this. The prince is not coming to visit us. The queen is not in town.
Who knows? This might be.
Maybe. So yeah, by all means, just get into it. We're just going to cut these down and get them into our pan and get a little heat on them and cook these guys. It's so darn simple. If you want to do something more exotic, you could take coconut milk and you do all sorts of lovely things like with cloud mushrooms. But this is just, here we are in the heartland of the United States, and we're just taking what we got, which are portobellos and buttons. Cute little fellas. And if you just, the remarkable thing about this fungus is that it looks so incredibly dense. It looks like cheese on one side, doesn't it? And of course you got the little gills on the other side, which is kind of reminiscent of
cheese.
It looks like a cheese, doesn't it? And it also kind of looks like a fish gill.
I can see the fish. I don't see the cheese though.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
Have a cocktail.
Like the top part right here?
Just have a cocktail, see it better that way.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, you just got this beautiful white thing, and doesn't that not look like a mozzarella?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Yay. So speaking of that, if you want to have this a little thicker, you can take like a mascarpone cheese, maybe a little ricotta, and you can get that in here too. But I just like it with butter and heavy cream.
Smelling good already.
Even this is looking really nice. Just kind of move it around a little bit so it doesn't get burnt. Nobody likes burnt milk.
Oh, that does not sound too good.
No.
It's stuck together.
So these are looking to me really delish, and they're just about where I want them to be. So you've got nice cooking pretty much all the way through on this. Let them sit here for just a moment longer. Then I'm going to transfer that into this container over here, and in the same pan, I want to pick up the residual energy, that's the heat that's already there, and of course the residual flavors too, and get those to work onto these. There is a difference in flavor between the buttons, these little whites that you find everywhere, and portobello mushrooms. And things like creminis taste different. Everything tastes just a little bit different, and it adds so incredibly much to everything.
Shoot those over to you.
So here we are. How luxe is this? So I think we should get a little more butter in here, and a little more magic glue of everything in there. Butter. And you often see us take a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and put that in the butter too, so the butter doesn't brown, but in this concept, we're not least bit concerned about that, so we're good. What I am going to do is take this clove of garlic here and maybe one or two others, and we're going to smash that, and of course they chop that, and that is also going to go into our cream right over here. That can all stir and work together. Now the thing about cooking mushrooms is that they have a tremendous amount of moisture inside of them, and the moisture is going to exude, is going to sweat itself out as well. It's going to add to a real neat thing. You can always add more cream to this. If you wanted to thin it a little bit for some reason, you can add a little bit of water to it, or even like we have roasted red peppers here, and we can make a marinade from that, or you can mulch those and get that juice in here. It just all adds so much to this. So they look lovely. They're going to need a little heat, and what I think we might want to do is to take a lid, and we'll put a lid on it for a moment just to create a little more heat in there.
Get them going.
And while that's working away, we're going to take just a little more cream. I just have a sense we're going to need it here. Well, may as well finish the entire container. No sense putting it back. If you wanted to get a little herb in there, like a bay leaf or like a thyme, you could certainly do that too. But I think this is just as close to au naturel as we can possibly get. Just the goodness of the shrooms, the butter, and the cream. All right, we'll check back in a couple of minutes with the finished product, and hope you stick around. Thanks. All right, guys, it's been a couple of minutes. You got the mushrooms that are working away really nicely here. And I think this is the time for Lindsay to marry these parts together. So you got the heavy cream with some butter going over here, and the portobellos that we put in before, and now it's time for our little white buttons. This really is this simple. Anyone can do this. You can have an 8-year-old kid doing this, and the smells are extraordinary.
Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. Good old Wisconsin butter.
So now this is going to sit together for a while. I mean, there's different ways to do this. We could have taken the mushrooms, you could have mulched these as well. So you have multiple textures that would have made it, a much thicker composition as well. But this is, for all intent and purpose, this is ready to go. It could be as a sauce right now. We could let it cook for a moment longer and have this as a soup. So, but at this point, I'm confident to say, the way this smells, we're going to both be very happy and satisfied with the way it tastes. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being, and we hope to have you do this result for your family and tell us how fantastic it was.
Highly recommend.
Because it is easy, and it is autumn, and you should do it. Cheers to you. Thanks.